Our next lesson is on substitution, combining like terms, and solving equations for ACT. The first thing I want to show you is how to store something on your calculator. Now when we do direct substitution, you can easily do it in the home screen as long as you're careful with your parentheses, but another way to do this is to use our storing mechanism. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so I can grab my calculator and show you where to find this. Now on your TI-83 or 84, right above the on button, you're going to see a little button called STO, that's the store button. But first you have to tell your calculator what number you are storing. So I want to store a 1.5, and then I hit the store button, and then you can use any letter on the green alphabet pad. However, the X, the T, the theta, and the N, the variable key, is very accessible, so I always use that X. And once you hit enter, now your calculator thinks every time you type an X in the home screen, it really represents a 1.5. So I could easily just go ahead and type the natural log of X, and it's going to think I'm really typing the natural log of 1.5, and that's exactly what it did. So moving along, let's skip this example here. I actually am not a fan of using the storing mechanism to find this answer, so go ahead and cross it off. It's okay, I'm the teacher, I can do that. So the next example, we're going to go ahead, and I am going to go ahead and store this on my calculator. So I'm going to tell my calculator I want to store a -2 this time as my X. So -2, store as X. Enter. And now I'm just going to type 3x squared plus 5 minus 5x. Sorry, I'm typing so slow. My computer's touchpad is not working so hot. And I get the answer of 16. That's the right answer. Now, if you wanted to do this the old-fashioned way, the way you learned back in algebra, you would have to do, a 3, and then every time you substitute in the -2, especially right here, it's very important you put parentheses around it when you square it or take it to another even power. And if you happen to forget those parentheses, you're going to get the wrong answer. Now, it turns out doing it this way is fine. Again, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you never ever use the store function ever again, but it is something that's kind of neat, and it kind of allows you to not think as hard as maybe you might have to, or maybe will allow you to avoid a silly mistake on an ACT. Again, I'm not real thrilled with doing this example through storing. Just go ahead and cross it off. We'll have more practice with storing on our next couple worksheets. Okay, our next content standard in this lesson is combining like terms. Now, this is an expression, an algebraic expression, so there's no moving things from one side to the other. There's only one side of this expression, and you're just going to smush the like terms together. So I always start with the highest degree. So 2x squared and a -6x squared, if I put those together, I get a -4x squared. Now right away, as I look at my answer choices, there's only 2 answer choices that are going to work. I'm already narrowed down to a 50-50 shot. Let's keep going though. And then I have a 4x minus a 4x. Those are actually going to cancel out, leaving you with no x's. So I think I know the answer. I think it's C. And it is, because there's just still a -5 off to the side. Now example 2 is not multiple choice, so we're going to have to go all the way. Let's collect our like terms. I've got a 4x, a -2x, and a -2x. If I smush those terms together, it gives me 4x minus 4x, which is no x, so we're done. -7 minus 2, and then plus a 9. That's -9 right here and a +9 right here. They all cancel out. Turns out there is absolutely nothing left in this expression once we combine our like terms. Now, solving equations, different. This time we have an equal sign in the middle, and you are going to go ahead and move things from one side of the equation to the other side depending on where you want your variables and your constants to be. So the first thing you might have to worry about is any distribution, and then you're going to have to collect your like terms on each side of the equation, and then you're going to bring all the x's together and all the whole numbers to the opposite side. Let's see what this looks like in example number 1. So there's nothing to distribute, but I see that there's just an x over here on this left side, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 13. And this is probably more work than most of you would show, since you're probably in Algebra 2. However, it is so important that you not rush yourself through a problem like this, because it's very easy to mess up. So x equals +3 is our answer. Now notice from the answers, -3 was an answer, which is a very common mistake if someone just kind of lost a negative because they're rushing. A lot of children tell me that this 1 minus 13 gives me a 14. And if you take 14 and divide it by 4, that's how they got the 3.5s. So there's a lot of common mistakes that you need to watch out for. Even though I know you can do that problem in your sleep when you're stressed out on an ACT test, strange things happen. So example number 2, you're going to distribute the 2, and you get 2x minus 14 plus 4x equals 5x plus 12. Now if you notice over here on the left hand side, I've got some like terms I need to combine. I have a 2x and a plus 4x. So that's going to give me 6x minus 14 equals 5x plus 12. Now I need to bring all my x's. I'm going to bring them all to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 5x. Again, probably more work than you would show, but it's good. And then since the x's are on the left, the non-x's need to go to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 14 to move it over. And I get x equals 26. All right, moving along. Oh, we're done. What am I thinking? Just make sure that you aren't making silly mistakes. Short story, when I took my ACT, I thought I was a hot shot in math, so I rushed through it real fast, especially the easy problems, and I got my score back, and math was actually one of my lowest scores. It was still decent, but it was the lowest, and I looked closer at my scores and I realized I got all the hard problems right, and I missed a couple of really easy problems like this, where since I wasn't paying such close attention, I did make very silly mistakes. So don't do what I did. That was a bad idea. And spend quality time on these problems and make sure you get them right.